of stuff, I mean, would that cut the timeline? We
Yes.
just send that to y'all, and y'all send us back what.
And their
each
list
will
is
send.
very
Yeah.
technical, so I mean, like, if you use an 18-inch chainsaw or a 24-inch chainsaw, 36-inch chainsaw.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
are you kidding me?
No.
I'm
It's
not.
that's what I'm
So I mean,
saying,
it's
yeah.
that detailed, it can get that detailed. So that's why we go into helping y'all with that process.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, this next question was a work performed by, it was forced account equipment and forced account materials. Basically just saying the county did everything, but there were no contracts.
No contracts, but yeah, we did have to,
Rent,
Use.
yeah,
okay,
we had to hire, but
So there is a
the only thing I had to hire out was Traco
The same here in Traco.
So you
and
do,
Rockport Road, in one instance.
y'all have contracts on that stuff?
No.
You can do, you can get it.
No, I got receipt on what I.
Well, that's what I mean, y'all have,
Contract is a loose term, but just
Yeah.
anything that isn't your own internal.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
you read an invoice to show.
Yeah,
what's
so we
that's
did,
contract.
we did, I guess you'd say contract out, means that's a loose term. So we got, bring your track over down here, in the morning at 7 o'clock, I want you to dig that, washed out, cut all that, I want you to clean that hole out, and then we're gonna roll this one in with our equipment. And then we're gonna have the clay coming in, you're gonna pack all the clay down, and then we're gonna bring you some rock, you know, and so, yeah. The only thing, it was county labor plus some dump trucks, plus Traco with operator on it.
right.
Is that done through a company, or do you guys just know those guys?
We used to, we could get, we
usually
used 5 different points.
Because oil and gas had issues, on this production around here.
Yeah, that was.
And they had the contractor snatched up. We couldn't, I mean, some of our normal people, hey, we can't break loose for the county. We're hooked up because they had over $200,000 worth of culverts.
I think I had one guy do 3 of my culverts.
Yeah. Okay.
Out of all the culverts, but, and then like one guy did 2. 2 different people did 1 apiece. It was who you could get.
Yeah, we couldn't really get any clay hauled because they were hauling it.
But it was too wet.
Yeah.
Clay was wet. We couldn't get trucks out of it.
It was
They're
just.
pulling it out of every county that was got ran.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of a procurement perspective on the back end for the reimbursement. So do you guys, if you could guess, those ones that you called in, how much you ended up spending roughly? I mean, like less than 50,000 or?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Like between 10 and 50, or even less than 10?
I'm not counting my bridge, I'm probably less than 10. Right at 10 with clay, because you gotta throw that clay in there, right, so.
Right.
Do about per location or total?
Total.
Yeah.
And, I know it's not known at this time, but, you know, there will need to be a quantity of this material that is picked up when it's all said and done.
Okay.
So,
But that's something good for.
We document that, somebody loads from each day.
That's just kind of.
We do that in.
And then-
Yes.
We always, we
Do that year round.
have a daily journal, we document all of that.
Okay. Mr. Lane, do you know, you said you had about 75 or 80% of yours. Have you got a quantity on that, or you just know the number of trailer loads at this point in time?
Yeah, I just keep it up with the daily loads.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a total, but when I do, I'll have a total for each road that was affected, you know, each section of road. It's like saying, I might have 4 different places on the same road.
Work with you on this.
Well, the pine trees come up,
Just
and then go down the road, there ain't no trees, then dust set up. And that's just kind of the way it works. But yeah, you get what you're.
Okay, all right.
So we just.
Okay, and the debris that's being picked up, it's within the right-of-way, road right-of-way, as my understanding. Did you have to go into any waterways or anything like that to pull debris out of it? No. All right,
Yes, make sure that this is good documentation.
and there is no temporary staging, it's all going to, I'm putting landfills here, but it's not really landfills, it's areas that are designated for burning.
It is burning area. That's probably the best way to look at it.
Okay, whether the county owns it or whether it's private. Okay.
Designated burning areas. Snipers.
Okay.
No, I've changed it.
There was no chipping to be done, it's all burned. And from that standpoint, of the, after it was burned, was anything done, or was it basically disposing of the ash, or did you just leave it?
We're gonna do it next time.
Okay,
We spread it out.
yeah, just spread where it was.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
Put your ash on top of the river route. Do it one way.
Okay, let me make sure I'm on the right sheet here. Okay, no insurance was involved on this, I'm taking. Right, no insurance?
No insurance involved on your debris management?
Right,
No.
no insurance involved. And there was nothing debris removed from the waterway. On the ground, did you take up any stumps or things of that nature, or was it basically getting stuff off the ground or cutting it down?
That's a good question. Well, we had to cut all the trees down there. I got lots of stumps on one road in particular. Most of the stuff come up from the root ball.
Yeah.
You know, but most of it, I mean, we had some that, you know, that would snap,
Yes, sir.
but most of it was root ball come up and everything. So we've got that. That's what I've got stacked on the man's property, because some of them trees are so big, you know, I mean, over 6 foot from one side to the other.
Yeah.
You know, we couldn't move them. We had no choice but to roll them on that property. And we still ain't got them all shoved up, or we could burn them yet. But what I'm saying, on the stumps that are on the causeway,
No.
should we go ahead and grind them stumps?
Well, anytime you disturb the ground, and this gets back into what Caitlin was talking about, anytime you pull something up like that, they need a GPS coordinate of it. And so from that standpoint, leaving the stumps, you can do that, and it's just basically taking debris away.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, it'd be good to maybe look at those beforehand. I know in the past, he was very particular on the stumps, so getting some GPS coordinates, and then maybe we can ask the debris specialist about what they should do.
Maybe, you know, probably best to leave them there, as far from erosion factor and stuff like that, because they're in some, showing up little bugs.
Yeah.
Well, anytime you take one up, they will want to know where it is taken up. And true enough, you know, if you do leave the root structure in place, it does help with the erosion.
Sure.
Or help prevent the erosion. And, so, but as Matthew talked about, I can check with Philip. He's the guy that was talking about debris. I'll check with him on that. Okay, let's see, did debris removal, staging, disposal occur within a cemetery? And so I'm supposing no.
No.
And the final disposal is not within a floodplain of any type?
That's correct.
Okay. And over there. Okay. All right, do you think, from the county standpoint, that you will be looking at anything that falls under emergency measures, such as roadblocks or barricading roads, things of that nature?
I don't think it's worth. Well, we had to put up a bunch of barricades, but
Just a quick note about category B. So it's anything that's trying to protect life or public health. And so closing roads, or when you guys are talking about moving trees off the roads and just leaving them there, that would be category B. Most of this is gonna probably come into equipment, so getting reimbursed for the equipment you use, and then the time
That's
would.
been done, and I mean, documentation would be hard to,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Well, I mean, it's just like when you drive out there and your culvert's gone because it's washed off, and you gotta put some, we had so many barricades that we run out of them. So we were taking our shredder tractors because we wasn't using them and driving them there and blocking the road.
I parked
With
the
a tractor
dump
shredder.
truck, and let the flashers on.
Dump truck, yeah.
Keeps
I mean,
them
we used
driving off
everything we
that
had because they had so many roads washed out at one time.
Because it's middle of the night, and we were trying to round stuff up.
Yeah, if you called in people, so Cat B is only for overtime technically, but if you called in employees who weren't supposed to work at that time, so middle of the night example, their time would be eligible because they weren't supposed to be working, so. Call super. It's up to you guys, it may not work to be pursuant.
Yeah, I mean, we was out till all hours, but
Yeah.
I'm not concerned about it. I mean, that, I mean, the major expenditures is what I'm concerned about. Keep it simple without bogging things down.
If you want to discuss it and talk about it in a follow-up meeting, I can come back and ask some of these questions concerning that. But let's do touch on the fact of what Matthew was talking about. Debris, if you just take the debris from the road and push it to the roadway and let it just sit there and deteriorate on its own, it is category B. If you take
did
it,
that because it was an emergency.
if you
Yeah,
take it
right.
and dispose of it,
That's, yeah, when
it's
storms hit,
category
that's we're in category B, because
Yeah.
we make a random clear, you make it where everybody can get out for emergency purposes.
Right.
But did you come back later and pick it up, or are you gonna come back later and pick it up and move it to a disposal site and burn it? If you're gonna do that, all of that falls within category A.
Okay, that's what we are.
That's what we are. What happens in category B is if a tree was in the road, you took that tree, you pushed it over to the
You
side,
don't touch it again.
and you don't touch it again.
Yeah, now we're gonna do it.
That would be emergency services. Also, like on your culvert, if you came back in and you put something in just for a temporary, for somebody to get across, you came back in later, took that out, put in something permanent, what you did at the first would be emergency measures. If you came in and put something in and then added on top of it to make it permanent, then it goes under category C. So emergency services are basically stuff that you put in and then remove from a road standpoint. From a debris standpoint, you just got it out of the road and didn't touch it after that. So if you want to look at this, it still goes within that 60-day time period, but let me know and we can come back and relook at the emergency.
When we start
measures.
grouping all of that, it kind of fall into place for me.
Well, emergency measures is just like debris. It will go on the damage inventory list for you to look at, but once we put it into grants manager, we take out A and B because they generate their own project. They kind of take another course, if you will. But until we put them in grants manager, we will keep it on the damage inventory list, what we showed there, so that you will know what you're submitting. We don't want anything to get lost in the shuffle, so. Okay. Let's see. We've got, next is going to be category C. Okay, what percent of the category C work do you think is complete? Countywide?
80%.
Yeah, man, I'm pretty well.
How much? 80.
On C?
still got some, I mean, cause I've been, like I said, I've been waiting on some equipment.
These
stuff.
buildings, isn't it?
So,
Sears Roads.
Brooks.
75,
70?
75 already. About 70%.
Yes.
Okay, that's countywide.
You asked for it. Be careful, it's got work.
Do what now?
So Jim, so Jim, but this is just the roads, that's 70% complete?
That's everything. Is that correct? Is that roads, culverts?
Yeah.
That's category C. About 70% of category C is complete.
Yeah, category C has, road, culverts, bridges, low water crossings, the 4 categories, subcategories to category C.
We don't have any low water crossing.
So you can't like lump them all together, they're kind of separate.
Yeah, it's all of your subcategories in category C. It's category C, everything that fits into category C is about 70% complete countywide. Did that answer your question, Benny?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Okay, so I will convey that to my leadership here. As it relates to percentage complete, I still think I'll probably be coming out, but I just want to have the right answer when boots on the ground there, physically looking at the damages.
Vinny, just to clarify, that's for the total, but there's still gonna be some sites that will need site inspections on that are gonna be less than 50% complete, and there's some mitigation spots. So we will still need to schedule somebody to come out here for site inspections.
Yeah, and I'm that person, and I will be there.
Okay.
Right.
So
What we're getting into here, Benny, is the fact that with the 4 precincts, some of them may be at 80 or 85% complete. One may be at 40% complete. So it sounds like a lot of the inspections are going to be in 1 to 2 precincts.
And by the time of inspection, I'll be probably 90% by the time we get the next 2 weeks. I mean, because my bridge will be finished next week. So,
And that's precinct 2.
Yeah.
So they were saying like precinct 2 is going to, by the time, second week in September, precinct 2 will probably be about 90% complete.
But that one's also a mitigation thing. too.
yeah, it's a mitigation side too, yeah, and I've got 2 of those.
So that's where it may still get a
They
site.
still need to come.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
But there will still be the mitigation sites that may or may not be complete, but they'll still have to be looked at.
Commissioner McSwain?
Yeah.
When you say bridge, are you saying it's 2 of those train car culverts?
No,
No,
no, it's a
it's a separate thing.
50-foot span bridge, concrete. I
Got it.
mean,
Got it, okay, yes, sir.
Okay, it was in a designated area, and the applicant has legal responsibility. None of the work is under any other authority, is it like federal authority, like? Okay. And it was actively used at the time, in other words, none of the roads were abandoned or anything like that? Okay. Was there a regular maintenance program, which I'm sure there was for this year? Okay.
We're lucky on this happened after school was not in. A lot of these are bus routes.
Oh, yeah, okay,
We're lucky
yes.
it happened that when it did.
Was the, anything under construction at the time of the event that you had to? No. Okay. Were any of the facilities scheduled for replacement? Any of the culverts, road?
additions I'd already determined I needed to do, because I had packed that, I mean, and I'd already had trouble with it before, and then this big rain hit it wide, and I said, it's time, you know, it was on the list, one of them, I mean, I'm out.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll need, yes, if we can kind of identify that
Yeah,
on the
it's-
list. that-
Yeah, it was on my list to address, and just didn't get done in time before the big rains. It already been washed out partially twice.
Okay.
You have any, for those, I'm thinking for the mitigation side, you have like record of the last 2 times or 3 times it washed out? Or?
Yeah, I could look back,
Okay.
yeah. Because one time should have done, hindsight's 20/20, should have done it then, should have changed it, but I was trying to get the road back open, and this last time I said, I shut it down for about a week till I could get the material I needed. 10 days, I said, we're not patching it, we're gonna fix it this time, so.
Sir.
I can look back.
Okay. Okay. Everything was a result of the event that moved through, all the damage that we're talking about. Okay. Did any of the damage cause you to have to relocate, or I guess really, the way it reads, did the damage to the facility require the applicant to temporarily relocate the facility to create a temporary fix? And I would probably say, did you have to reroute traffic, things of that nature on?
Well, you know, like I say, I got a road still closed, so they're having to reroute. I'm just lucky everybody's got a way out, and it's not, you know.
Okay.
During the flood, we had to reroute some.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like I say, I had another road that was temporary, was probably shut in 10 days to 2 weeks.
I had one rerouted for 6 weeks,
Okay.
7 weeks.
I'm on 4 months.
On the ground disturbance activities, that would come into play with your culverts and then your bridge. Okay, any damaged facilities listed on the historic register?
The courthouse.
Courthouse, probably the courthouse.
I'm just for the roads and culverts.
Oh, no.
This is,
And bridges.
I got some dead homes that could probably be on there.
Yeah.
And you started the work back during May or June when you started these repairs?
oh yeah, immediately. Yeah, it was done immediately.
Okay.
We had to get it open, get things open, and
Okay, did you run into any hazardous material that you had to dispose of? Okay. Were there any environmental issues that you had? Okay, and last on this particular section, were there any controversial issues that you want to, in doing these repairs that you ran into?
Any possums picketing or
You got it?
protesting?
So
No spotted wells out there?
we cut a lot of phone lines.
And phone calls?
Nasty phone calls.
Yeah, we cut a lot of phone lines. But,
I'm-
apparently there's so many big ones out there, I can't even tell you which one's live, and nobody's ever fixed them, they still.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, that's somewhere down
Right
there.
here, like,
They will.
Yeah.
There'd be one location, there'd be 3 phone lines, and nobody can tell you which
What
one's
you do is
live.
when you get one of those phone calls, you say it's not my precinct, it's somebody else, you give their phone number.
Yeah.
And half the phone lines probably, nobody uses either.
Right, I mean, there ain't many landlines left. Okay.
All righty, we're just about through with these. Okay, you had road damage, you had culvert damage, You had bridge damage, but you did not have any low water crossings.
We don't have any. We don't have any
Okay,
yet.
have you done, and I'm supposing you have, since you did this, any similar work in the past that you've done? Like, I'm sure you've replaced culverts. You have to bear with me on these questions, I gotta ask.
Yeah, we added up, we replaced 9 culverts.
Okay, was the work, all the work was done by applicants, own employees, and contract? And the reason I'm putting contract is that y'all had to rent equipment and stuff of that nature, so. Forced account was used, and also your own material was used in some cases. Okay, did any of, I'm supposing not, but was any of this road and culvert and bridges covered by any kind of insurance?
No.
Yeah. Okay, did you, was any of it fixed in the past with FEMA money?
No.
No. Okay, let's see. And I guess your primary point of contact would just be the commissioners, the commission board. Okay. And they were damaged by flooding. Is any of the work within 200 feet of a waterway, which I'm supposing that is,
You know, when the
yes.
waterway, when you got water everywhere around you working.
This would
You're
be
talking about like a lake or something like that?
like a river,
A named river?
something that carries water on a permanent basis, yes, river, lake. Yeah.
The ocean, here.
Okay. Will the proposed facilities or repairs change the pre-disaster conditions? Some of the mitigation, I guess, would. And in other words, you're going back in with something more than what was pre-disaster.
Trying to make, improve it. Hope it doesn't happen, but prevent it from happening again. Go.
Nothing was on the historical. Okay. Are there? It's the next question is: are there any undeveloped areas on the site? And really, and I know that kind of gets into, well, yeah, some of the area around the sites, but what we're talking about is the roads and the bridges. It's just they were already there, and this is not something that you didn't put in like a road or bridge on something that was undeveloped.
No.
Did you run into any hazardous material? No. We're going on to the buildings now. Is it just the roof in these buildings?
Roof and windows.
Pardon?
Roof and windows.
Roof and windows?
Ceiling tile.
Well, yeah, so that's how the water got in, and then of course there's damage inside the building because of that.
Okay. Like to the walls and things?
Correct, yeah.
Okay. All right. Is there any part of the work that's completed yet in the buildings? No. And you do have this board has legal responsibility for fixing this. None of the buildings fall under any kind of federal authority? And both of them were being actively used. Okay. And you have a regular maintenance program for your buildings? Was any part of the facilities under construction at the time? Any kind of construction? Were any of them scheduled to be replaced? You have to excuse me, I think we have some training going on. Okay. And it was all under the declared disaster. Were any of the facilities completely completely destroyed?
No.
No. Facilities that were damaged were just buildings, and within the buildings, we're talking about roofs, windows. What about facade on the
Mortar.
Okay. Doors? No doors. Okay. Flashing gutters? Anything like that? Okay. No downspouts. What about any kind of contents of the building? Was any of that?
I'm trying to think.
Much computer damage or anything like that?
Well, they still got a trash bag over when it rains up here on the fourth floor in the district clerk's office. Because they hadn't been fixed, so they put a trash bag, and of course we had buckets catching water, and I don't know of anything that just got, looking wise, got tore up.
I'd say no.
Okay.
Personnel kind of say,
And what they kind of classify as contents is if you were to pick the building up, shake it, if it fell out, that would be the contents of it. If it stayed in, such as any kind of electrical box or anything that's permanently fastened to a wall, they include that as part of the building. So no equipment. Okay, did you have anything in the buildings that were rented that was destroyed or? No. And no, they're not. So you haven't applied for any kind of small business loan or anything
No.
for the damages? Okay. I guess, have you done any, and the reason they're asking this is because of the estimated cost, have you done any type of repair of this sort in the past on the building?
In the past, how long?
Ma'am?
How long in the past?
Oh, just any time in the past that you, I guess, like roof repair and
that was
things
all
of
part
that.
of the maintenance, so wasn't it?
Yeah, that was probably maintenance.
Okay, just regular maintenance to the building. Okay.
Mr. Moss, this is Beckel. I'm going to have to leave the meeting. If you have any questions, I can contact you and you can relay it to me.
Okay.
Thank you.
I do appreciate it. Thanks. We're about done here. Okay, now this repair to the buildings, will it be done by contract?
Yeah.
Okay. Will you get on any of your county labor to do any part of the work? No. All be done by contract? Okay. No forced account equipment. And you have insurance that does cover both buildings? Okay. Have you ever received, and I think the answer is no here, any FEMA funding on these buildings? Okay. Do you have any kind of mitigation proposal for these buildings? Or are you going to go back with as-is pre-disaster?
On the courthouse would be as is pre-disaster
Yes.
or the historical society.
Yes.
Right.
On the DA's office, we're having bids turned in for putting it back like it was, and then a different style of roof, which in our opinion would last longer. So it's two different, that's a flat roof building over there, but it's not very wide, so we were looking at putting an actual slope roof on it.
Okay.
That'd be mitigation.
That'd be more of a mitigated remedy. But the quotes that we will, the bids that we will open in court tomorrow we should be getting bids for both ways options.
Just see which one's cost, you know.
Yeah, and that's great, because with mitigation, the big thing is cost effectiveness, so they'll want to make sure, like, they'll do what's called a benefit cost analysis. We can do that with you, but it's great that you're getting quotes for both, because that way you can compare the pricing and show that it is
That's
cost.
what we're doing.
Just depending on what y'all want to do, yeah.
Let's see.
A quick note on the buildings, I don't know, do you guys know what your insurance deductible on those buildings are, or how it works, just offhand?
Not just right off.
No, yeah, that's fine. But just the way FEMA writes the project, so you know, is that they're gonna write the project as if you didn't have insurance, and then when you receive payment from insurance, they'll deduct that from your project's total, and then you'll get paid out for whatever is left that's uninsured cost. But just so you know, because they're still gonna ask you for stuff from the contractor, like as if they were paying for the whole repair, but they'll just cover the uninsured part. It just is a little confusing sometimes, so.
And that does include deductible too, so, like Matthew was talking about. that.
Find out what that
So,
is.
who would be your main point of contact for the buildings, especially for the mitigation? Would it be one of y'all, or would it be Mr. Smith, or?
This is one, but we'll open bids in court tomorrow, so we'll all be on the same page.
Okay, I'm gonna just put, Board of Commissioners, how about that?
Put Lord Lane.
Okay, we got Mr. Lane down.
There you go.
And these were damaged by flooding or just basically wind and rain coming in?
And then, right.
Okay. And you may have some repairs or construction that will change pre-disaster conditions, and that's what you're looking at that,
Yes.
not to say that you will. Okay. Is the courthouse on the historical society?
Yes.
But the other building is not.
Right.
Do you know when you think you'll get started with the construction on that, or the repair of the buildings?
Well, we'd like to do the DA building on this year's budget,
If we could.
if we could.
Okay, all right,
But
so.
time is
Okay.
getting short.
Yeah.
Time gets short, we had an open bid.
Yeah. Now,
No more tomorrow.
Yeah.
okay,
Almost into.
so this year runs through October for y'all?
Yes.
Is this your fiscal year?
September.
September.
Okay.
Starts October 1st.
I'll just put September
Yeah.
down here. And nothing's in concrete on this, it's just the best guess. Okay,
The courthouse is gonna take a while though, right, because of the sorting stuff?
okay, do you think that any hazardous materials are gonna be involved?
Not in the courthouse. We had, when we had some work done, we had them test to see if we had any definite asbestos that they look for, and they tested a lot of different places in the courthouse and said we didn't have any.
Okay.
So,
Thank goodness.
Yeah.
hallelujah
It's a
for
big
that.
deal.
Are there any environmental issues that y'all know of at this point in time that you think you're gonna face?
That's,
Hey, Mr. Ross, if I could just make a quick comment,
Sure.
if that's
That's
okay.
what I'm saying, till we get into it.
For the asbestos, if we are going to be submitting related costs for the testing of asbestos in the buildings, please just make sure to upload a copy of those reports into Grants Manager. We will take a look at those. Likewise, I heard that the county courthouse is listed with the historical commission, so if you typically have to reach out to them prior to commencing work on the building, we would highly advise and recommend doing so. We may have to consult with THC on repairs to the roof, so holding off on repairs would be preferred, just particularly for the courthouse since it is a listed building. If we're changing any materials or design, which it doesn't sound like we are, but if we do, or if you would like to, we would just need a thorough description of what those changes would be, including materials, textures, designs, and things of that nature. I'll make note in my RSM report, and I will upload that to Grants Manager, so if we need any of that information or we forget, it will be uploaded into Grants Manager.
Okay.
But that's all I have.
All right. So if we could get the copy of the reports that y'all got for the non-hazardous material,
I
and
think we have them, that was years ago, but I think we should still have them, yes.
okay, and then touching base with the, I guess it'd be Texas Historical Society, right? Is that correct?
Texas Historical Commission, yes, sir.
Yes, touching base with those, with that organization, if we could get a copy of the communication or what was done back between y'all and the historical. And then the other thing is, if for some reason you have to go back with material, and that material is different from what you have on there now, if we could make sure that we get a copy of how it's different.
Okay.
So we know that you're gonna try to go back with pretty much what was.
Original.
Yes.
Yeah, you're gonna go try to historical value of it, but
That's right.
maybe that exact
Yes.
tile isn't made or
well, the
something.
good, yeah, as I say, the good thing about it is, like, it's only what can be seen
Right.
from ground level or whatever, and so the roof won't have any effect on that.
Okay. But y'all have contacted the Texas Historical Commission.
I'm sorry, what?
Have y'all contacted the Texas Historical Commission about this damage?
No,
No.
Not yet?
no, we've worked with them on different projects here.
Okay. Y'all might want to touch base with them about this, just to get them on the same page.
Yeah.
And that's all, she was talking about, just any material difference, any communication with the historical commission, and then those reports, Judge, that you were talking about, if we could get a copy. Okay, are there any other, or do you think there will be any other controversial matters when it comes to these buildings and repairing the buildings? No. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, guess what?
Happy days.
Yes, that was the last question. So,
So Jim, I have a question.
sure.
Copies for.
That's your copy, so you'll-
Pictures of the
For review.
Do what now, Benny?
Do you have pictures of the damages to the buildings?
The
Do you have
damage
do you have
to,
pictures of the damages to the
Yes.
building?
Yes.
Okay, great.
yes, they do have. Now, the thing about it is, it's gonna have to be a site inspection of the buildings, since,
Yeah.
the work is not over 50% complete. However, Vinnie will, or our site inspections do not include going up on the roof. So we.
That's okay, there's plenty visible when we go up to the fourth floor.
Uh-huh.
There's plenty visible. I mean, we still got a piece of plywood over a window.
Okay.
It'd be an easy inspection all from the inside. I have pictures on my phone from the roof.
Okay.
So they're already taken.
Did you get that, Benny?
Yeah, I heard that. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Any other questions, Vinny, that you have?
No. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions from anybody online? I think it's hot. Okay, hearing none, any questions from anybody here? Do y'all have any questions of us?
Not yet.
Not yet?
They will.
Let us know what day in September.
This is the very reason why these recovery scoping meetings are so important. I'm sorry to have kept y'all over 2 hours, but these are very important. They kind of drill down pretty far. I know some of these questions right here you were probably asking why, but we have to ask the questions. It does give a holistic view of different things, whether it's EHP is involved in, mitigation is involved in, insurance is involved in, the state. All of us are involved in this and have different questions about different things that go on. So I appreciate your patience and your time, and I appreciate your answers on this. The last thing that I have is follow-up meetings. And as you heard what Vinny was talking about, we'll try to do the inspections the second week in September. What is a good day for y'all, or as far as the inspections go? Or it will probably be a couple of days with the amount of work that's already gone on. I don't know if it'll go over a couple of days or not, to tell you the truth.
Be better if it's not on Friday.
Okay.
We're gonna knock that out then.
Or Wednesday morning.
What is good for the state?
Are you talking about for the second week of September?
Yes.
I'm probably just, if we can figure it out over email, that'll be great. My schedule changes.
All right, does that suit everybody? I'll come back with an email and we can kind of knock that out. Now,
And 18.
So I think it's a good week.
Yeah, it's a good week.
Yeah.
what I would say, that once we come up with a date, about a week before that, I'll set up a Teams call and we can talk about what inspections what does need to be inspected.
What progress has been made.
If it's a second full week, Wednesday would be all right too. That's
Yeah,
usually-
Monday through Thursday that week.
Yeah.
We could make Friday, but it'd be better not.
Okay, all right, so Monday through Thursday of the second week, and we'll talk about that, and again, in the future, follow-up meetings. Do you want to have follow-up meetings once a week? Do you want follow-up meetings once every 2 weeks? Now, it sounds like it's rigid, but it's not. I would hate to go more than 2 weeks without having some kind of contact. And then as we get closer to certain milestones, the meetings can become more frequent if you want to do that. So if you want to shoot for, say, every 2 weeks, but I will say when we get close to that 60-day deadline to have the damages in grants manager, we probably may need to meet once a week. We do not want to miss that date, and it's not like you're going to put these things on the list and I'm going to upload them. I will upload them, but you have to approve and say that's what you want. But we do not need to miss that date for any
It's
reason.
only got 60 days. Probably 2 weeks the first time, and then it'll go to 1 week, but that's close.
Yeah.
Or 2 weeks the first time, and then the rest of them by the week, so you can be sure and just get them over with.
We can certainly do that, and we can go with phone calls, and then we can go to face-to-face when we need face-to-face.
Okay.
But the 2 weeks coming up will be for the site inspections. And we'll iron out the days over email string that'll include all of us.
Would you guys just want to plan for the 10th of September? I'm free that whole day. That's a Tuesday.
That's a good day for me.
Is that good for you?
10th of September. Denny, did you catch that?
Yes, I did.
I have something.
Does the 10th,
That sounds good.
10th of September? Okay. Tentatively,
Okay,
we'll,
so,
go ahead, I'm sorry.
so you don't want to start on the 9th, that Monday, you want to start on the 10th?
Yes,
Okay, that's fine.
okay.
We can do that.
And that's tentative. I'll send around the email and make sure that everybody's good with that. But right now, we'll look at the 10th and maybe the 11th. I don't look for this to go past 2 days, really and truly, from what y'all have told us here today, but it could, so. All right, well, that's,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at one day, 2 days, we're looking at a couple buildings, we're looking at all 4 precincts, and we have roads. I would imagine, you know.
but the commissioners are saying that a lot of the road work, they feel like will be done by then.
Okay,
So we're gonna come back a week before with a telephone call or a Teams call and find out which ones are at 50% and more.
okay.
Okay, well,
All right.
thank you all so much. And again, sorry to have taken up so much of your time.
Thank you.
Any comments from commissioners or members? And Mr.
Make it motion.
Thanks for participating
All
online.
in favor, aye.
We'll be back in the morning.